Welcome to another video from Lockdown Electronics with me, Bill, and this time we've got something a little bit different in that we've got an unboxing video, but the contents are not my normal subject, so hopefully that's going to be interesting. So let's go and see what secrets are inside. Okay, well, this is the contents of that parcel, and it's as you can see, a rather nice Raspberry Pi 400, which I've treated myself to. And so without further ado, let's get unboxing. It looks like that just somehow slides out of that sleeve. If I can get it to do that. Yeah, there we go. I think that's made a start. Yes, I see what I need to do. Okay. So that sleeve slides out of the way, and then we've got a very nice little box here, and that's a very white looking keyboard, but actually in there is a computer, and there are the various connections and ports. So that's really very nice. It feels very solid, feels nice and good to type on. So yeah, that first impressions of that's absolutely fab. So we'll get it connected up, and I've already flashed an image onto an SD card. I'm going to start off trying the Ubuntu Linux distro and see how we get on with that one, which has recently been ported across for the Raspberry Pi 400. So I've got the full desktop version, so we'll get that loaded up, get the machine connected up, and see how she goes. Okay, so here's the Raspberry Pi 400 now set up and attached to my display, and I'll just quickly talk you through how the setup works. The display is actually recycled from an old Acer netbook which had long since stopped working, and this box that I've put on the back contains a driver card which I got from China, and that driver card essentially gives you all the inputs you need. It gives you HDMI, there's a display port there, but I don't need that. There's VGA there, and there's an audio out there, and it just runs off a 12-volt supply. Now originally I had my Raspberry Pi 3, which is in this case here. I had that attached on the back, actually it was that way up on the back of here, so that I'd got an all-in-one solution with the Raspberry Pi and the display, and I just needed keyboard and mouse attached to it, and that worked really well. I'm going to use this new Raspberry Pi headless. It's not going to, sorry, the old Raspberry Pi headless. That's not going to go to waste. So I've now got HDMI cable driving the display, as you can see. And when I initially got this, I ordered a micro HDMI to normal HDMI lead, and I was still waiting for it to come, so I used this adapter which allowed me to get it working, and no matter what I tried I couldn't get any sound to work. And there's quite a few people have mentioned sound issues on the internet with the Raspberry Pi 400. One of the things that I would fault the Raspberry Pi 400 for is it doesn't have the 3.5mm audio output which most Raspberry Pis have had in the past. There it is on the Mark III. That's actually a shame in one sense, because it means if you don't have a display that you can get a speaker output from, you've got a bit of an issue there, so it's a shame. But the little issue I wanted to point out was that when I was using this adapter with that monitor, no matter what I tried, I couldn't get any sound out of it. Whether I tried, and I read that you should try using the other port, it didn't make any difference. Now that my new already made up cable has arrived that goes from micro to normal, sound issues have completely vanished. The sound works perfectly, and it's coming out of the audio output from the little HDMI board on the back of my display. So there we go, that's me set up. I've got obviously a mouse attached here. I've gone for the operating system, the Raspberry Pi OS as it's called these days. Used to be Raspbian. It's a version of Linux, but I quite like it. I've got used to it. I've changed the defaults to suit me. Normally the taskbar would be at the top. Comes with quite a bit of software installed already, but I've added some more. For instance, things like the Arduino IDE, which works particularly well on a Raspberry Pi, and I certainly want to use that. There's the sketch display for the Arduino IDE, but it also comes with things like LibreOffice and one or two other bits and pieces. So yeah, it's good actually. I've also got things like GIMP Graphic and Kden Live on here. So nice, very nice, and works nice and quickly. And what's particularly nice is it's such a small footprint. Keyboard is really nice to type on, and apart from the issue with the 3.5mm jack, I really can't find very much to grumble about on the Raspberry Pi 400. It's very nice. It's also quite nice to read the words "Made in UK" on the bottom. Not that there's anything wrong with things that are made anywhere else, it's just that you don't very often see "Made in UK" anymore, so it's quite nice to see it, and takes me back to nostalgic days of some of the 8-bit micros that were sold here in the UK, like the Sinclair and the Oric and the Acorn machines, the Electron and the BBC Micro. So yeah, this is nice. Unashamedly used to have an Oric Atmos, and then for many years had a BBC Micro, which gave very good service indeed. So for me that sort of harks back to that, but it's just so nice to have something now that just plugs into a display and works rather well. The other great thing about all Raspberry Pis, of course, is that the operating system is held on a micro SD card, and that's very handy because this one's got a 32 gig in, and I've currently got a 32 gig in this one as well. But what's great is if you want to use more than one operating system, it's just a case of getting that onto another card, switch the machine off, swap the cards and start up, and you've got your machine running in a different operating system. One of the things I do want to get working, and I'm still working on, is I'd like to get RISC-OS working on here. It certainly worked very well on me Raspberry Pi 3. There is a port now for the Raspberry Pi 4 and 400. I've not managed to quite get it working yet. I just need to put a little bit more effort into getting it set up. But it's great because you can just swap operating systems, and again that harks back to the days of things like the BBC Micro, where you could type a star command and jump to another ROM that was in one of the sideways sockets. So delighted with my purchase. Well done Raspberry Pi for coming out with something that's now altogether usable straight out of the box with a monitor and a mouse. I think sometimes just buying a circuit board was potentially off-putting, maybe for some buyers. It didn't put me off at all, but certainly for some buyers it would. And so now you have got a micro, and it's a powerful micro with 4 gigs of memory. So yeah, good stuff. Very pleased with that. Okay, well that's almost it for a little look at the Raspberry Pi 400, and I have to say I'm very pleased with this little computer. It's undeniably a little bit of a nostalgic trip, in that it certainly seems to hark back to those what I see as golden days of the 1980s, when there was a lot of 8-bit computers about. And certainly I can remember round about 81 going to a friend's house, and their son had got a Sinclair ZX81, just with 1K of memory, and I remember sitting there and being absolutely transfixed by what it would do, and I just had to have a computer. So 8-bit micros, yeah, this is a very long way from an 8-bit micro, but it is nonetheless nice and complete, and there's everything in there ready to go. If Raspberry Pis of the previous editions, which is just a circuit board normally, have been a bit off-putting to people, I suspect that this won't be off-putting, because it is actually a computer all in one go. Everything's there, and it's extremely easy to expand. You've still got the GPIO port on the back, got all the various connections. Only thing missing is the 3.5mm audio out, but actually I'm having no trouble getting audio out via the HDMI now, so got no complaints on that front either, and a really nice keyboard to type on. So yeah, that's unashamedly going to be my substitute 8-bit micro that's capable of a great deal more. Okay, well I hope that's been interesting. I've tried, there's plenty of Raspberry Pi 400 reviews out here on YouTube for you to look at, so I've tried to concentrate on the bits that appeal to me, and hopefully I've given you a little bit of a different look at this machine. If you've liked the video, please click the thumbs up. If not, you can click the thumbs down. Either way, it'd be great if you could subscribe. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.